all a good from Leo at Leo's camera.
This is KOTI TV, Klamath Falls.
Inside the mind of Adolf Hitler, a special edition of A Current Affair, a rare glimpse into the insane thoughts and last days of the world's most brutal murderer. Our Cindy Adams has this world-exclusive interview with Gertrude Junge, Hitler's personal secretary, the woman who lived with him and Eva Braun during those final hours in the Berlin bunker. The death of Hitler.
I think he shot in his head.
The death of Braun.
She has a capsule of cyanide in her pocket.
The death of madness.
I'm still very much ashamed. And I can't forgive myself that I participated in the service of that man.
Hello everyone, I'm Maury Povich and welcome to A Current Affair. Tonight we have an incredible personal look inside the mind of one of history's horrors, Adolf Hitler. Our Cindy Adams spoke with a woman who was at Hitler's side for the last 3 years of his life. And Cindy has a chilling portrait of the man who changed the world forever. Cindy?
Maury, the person who gave me that portrait was Hitler's personal secretary for the last 3 years of his life. It's an exclusive interview. I did it in Munich. And what this woman tells me is frightening as it takes us inside the head of a madman.
And we'll have that after this message.
What is one of the best things to find under the tree? A box from Bogates, because inside you know there's something wonderful. For men or women, you'll find the perfect gift. Scrumptious sweaters, dressy holiday dresses, shirts, slacks, ties, suits, and more. Trendy or timeless, there's a look for everyone on your list at Bogates. And you'll find the Bogates commitment to quality and professional courteous assistance. Look over your list, then look to Bogates, basically the place for the holidays. Shop Sunday 11 to 5.
Kodak medalist, Nikon binoculars, the new 8000 autofocus Nikon, Nikon Action Touch, the Nikon One Touch. Good night to all, and to all a good from Leo at Leo's camera.
To Mr. Jim Thompson, Cascade Honda. The Honda factory congratulates you on your new facility. That special shipment of Hondas you requested is on the way. Very soon, Cascade Honda will have the best selection of 1990 models in the Northwest. Your new Hondas will arrive shortly. Best wishes on your continued success.
At Holiday Jewelry, you've always known us as the store with the most beautiful jewelry. Now we've done even better. The most beautiful jewelry at the season's best prices. These and others are available in our Christmas catalog at Holiday Jewelry in the Jefferson Square Mall.
You're watching KOTI TV, Klamath Falls.
Gertrude Junge is 77 years old, a widow. She lives modestly. It's a small life on an unpretentious street in Munich, a lifetime away from her years as private secretary to Adolf Hitler. Frau Junge's diary comprised the basis for Pierre Gallant's Putnam book, Voices from the Bunker. She shrinks from any publicity, TV in particular. It took me weeks to convince her to speak to me. She finally opened her home and her memories to me, and she took me into the head of a madman.
Wir werden sterben, aber für Deutschland muss leben, jetzt und immer. Die Heil! Die Heil! Die Heil!
He came to power in post-World War I Germany, a nation plagued by chaos and despair. Adolf Hitler offered a vision of a German master race, a 1,000-year empire to rule the world. He left behind a legacy of death. "50 years later, just outside the city of Munich, where Hitler first rose to power, the concentration camp Dachau remains preserved, bearing eternal testament to Nazi atrocities. To many who walk the streets of Germany today, Adolf Hitler is simply a name out of history. But on this Munich side street, there lives a woman to whom Adolf Hitler is still very real. She treasures his snapshots. From 1942 to his death in a Berlin bunker in 1945, Gertraud Junge was Hitler's personal secretary. She has written of her years with the Führer. Her manuscripts have just been published. In her only American interview, she agreed to speak with me.
And when I met him, I was taken by surprise, actually, because he was a very friendly and a very handsome and nice man with a soft voice and very polite manners, and I liked him.
Frau Gertraud Junge was employed in the German Chancellery. In 1942, Adolf Hitler selected her to be one of his 3 personal secretaries. She was 21 years old.
When Hitler asked me, do you want to stay for me and work for me, I just was so flattered, and I couldn't resist to say no, because I found it very interesting, I must say, to be on the top. And I thought, that's a place where you know everything at first, and you are the best informed of all Germany, but it was the contrary. Contrary was the case. I wasn't informed about anything, but I just was close to Hitler.
While she did take shorthand and type memos for him as part of the Führer's inner circle, Frau Junge's job was to dress up his dinners, make conversation, keep Herr Hitler relaxed.
The main thing we could tell Hitler was some gossip or what we saw in the cinema, and we tried to repeat it, and he was very, very keen on gossip, actually. He loved to hear what love stories were going on in the camp, or who said that to that. And
one place where Adolf Hitler could unwind was Berchtesgaden, his home in the Bavarian Alps. Here he entertained officials like Joseph Goebbels, heads of state like Benito Mussolini. He played with his dog Blondie. He took afternoon walks
Because sometimes I remember one day when Himmler was as a guest at the Berghof and we had dinner together, he used to tell stories about how he organized concentration camps. So he told us those stories. So we really thought it's a normal way to arrest people who had some criminal or political crimes.
Did any of you really know what was happening?
In Hitler's circle, nobody was informed about anything of what happened to the Jews, officially. Maybe, I must admit that, and from my knowledge now, if anybody of us would have insisted and tried to find it out, maybe, I must say, there would have been a possibility to learn more about it. But I think we were cowards and we were not heroes enough to inform, to look for better information.
One guest, the daughter of Hitler's personal photographer, tried to get an answer to the Jewish question from this madman.
She experienced that Jews were deported and they were treated not very well, and she just was very, very upset about it. And she told Hitler, "Mein Führer, do you know what happens to the Jews? Do you agree that, and what can you do about it?" And Hitler got very angry and upset, and he stood up and said, "That's not your concern. That's a sentimental feeling, and you are not. It's not your. It doesn't concern you. Please keep out of that." And he stood up and went out of the room, and she was never again invited.
Did you people never realize that he was a madman?
Yes, no, you couldn't. And that is a very important thing I have to explain. Look, the madness of him was in some specific ideas he had. And everybody who was working with him was only informed about the things he was concerned with. So we would never have heard any political or military problems. Certainly there must be some madness about him, but in the private circle, you wouldn't have noticed that.
Well, in part two of this rare look at history's monster, one of the first-hand accounts from an eyewitness to the final days of Adolf Hitler in his bunker, Cindy Adams continues her exclusive interview after this.
They're here. 70 brand.
This year, invest in the best. The best gifts come from Anders. See the Anders Invest in the Best holiday catalog for the best name brands at the best prices. 5-piece Douglas dinettes from $198. Famous name mattresses start at just $88 each piece, twin size. Flex steel rocking soft touch recliners. Several models to choose from. Their price $650 and Anders only $399. Payments start at only $25 a month, and don't make the first one till February. This year, invest in the best, only at Anders.
They're here. 70 brand new 1990 Hondas. And Cascade Honda is selling them all at factory direct prices. 1990 Honda Civics, factory direct, only $69.95. 1990 Civic wagons, factory direct 9971. Newly designed Honda Accords, 11998. Cascade Honda's factory direct sale. The savings go directly to you.
'Tis the season at All Season Sports. The season to ski, the season to bundle up, and the season to save a bundle. Like the basin's hottest and largest selection of skis and ski clothing at great prices. Stuff their stockings with leg gaiters now only $15.89. Turtlenecks only $9.89. Warm and waterproof ski gloves from $29.89. The basin's hottest sunglasses from Farnay, Oakley, Revo, Ray-Ban, and SunCloud. Shop Sunday 11 to 5 and see all the Christmas wishes at All Season Sports.
Children without enough food or clothes living in shacks, too poor to go to school or get medical attention. What's so shocking is these are American children living here in this land of plenty. You can change a child's life with just a phone call and 70 cents a day by sponsoring an American boy or girl through Christian Children's Fund. Just 70 cents a day, $21 a month, provides a child, that child's family and community with food, medical care, schooling, a future. A phone call and just 70 cents a day can turn a child's despair into hope. 70 cents a day, the price of a cup of coffee.
In Part 2, Frau Junge takes us inside the final days of Adolf Hitler, including his marriage to Eva Braun, his paranoia, and his suicide. The genteel life in Adolf Hitler's inner circle was stunning contrast to the atrocities he masterminded outside. Gertrude Junge was at the core of this inner circle. Her husband was an SS officer. She hosted her Führer's dinners with the highest Nazi officials. Her social life was Joseph Goebbels, Martin Bormann, Heinrich Himmler.
These names that we have read all of our lives, names like Martin Bormann, Goebbels, Goering, were they not fearsome creatures to you? They were friends to you?
No, they were not friends, but they were not fierce creatures, actually, because if that's, I think it's a very big mistake to think they looked like monsters, all of them. They had a very nice facade, and even Goering was a very handsome man to talk to. Goebbels, I met him not very often. He was only at the official dinner parties at the Birkhof, and he was an excellent entertainer, and he was a very intelligent and spiritual, amusing man. So it was not that you had just a shower of fears if you met one of those people.
Hitler the monster was possessed of an evil mesmerism, cloaked in charm, passion, hypnotic power. He could bend even the iron will of a disciplined army officer.
The officers came out of the conference, the military situation conference, and then they talked and said, it's terrible, I came today here and I was so, I had made up my mind to tell Hitler what's my point of view. All of a sudden, he interrupted me, and he started to talk, and he talked and talked and talked, and all I was going to say was gone. And I was standing here, and I was convinced that this man is right.
His control over his coterie held until the final day. When it became clear that Germany had lost the war, Hitler took refuge in this bunker under the Berlin Chancellery. He was accompanied by Eva Braun, the Goebbels family, and members of his staff. They included Frau Gertrude Junge. Hitler refused all opportunities to escape, desperately afraid he would die at the hands of his enemies, as had Mussolini. Most people in the bunker also chose to remain underground with him to the end. Joseph Goebbels fatally injected his 6 children with poison. He and his wife committed suicide. These names who blackened our history books could not bear to live in a world without Adolf Hitler. In the final days, Adolf Hitler's physical and mental powers faded along with the defeated Third Reich. Hitler had become a pale and weak version of himself. He discussed suicide over dinner.
He used his pistol. But on the other hand, he said it can be dangerous if you put it on your head and you just blind and you survive. So he talked about putting it into his mouth.
But Eva Braun would not have wanted, that's not a woman's way to die, to put a pistol in your mouth. She didn't die that way, did she?
She has a... I said, I want to dress nice and I would have a nice hairdo.
Cyanide was the method most preferred. Each was given a capsule obtained personally by Heinrich Himmler. But then Hitler had become paranoid. He trusted nobody and nothing, including the capsules. He tried one out on his beloved dog Blondie. Blondie died instantly. As for Eva Braun, the woman he never married, he decided to marry her April 28, 1945. That was 2 days before their planned suicide. It was a grim ceremony in their underground tomb.
And I think it was just a gest of gratitude to Eva Braun, who had lived on his side in secret so long and just was ready to die with him.
According to Gertrude Junge, Hitler committed suicide on April 30th, 1945. She heard the gunshot.
Nobody could ever find the bodies of Hitler and Eva Braun. What happened?
They were burned. They were burned outside the bunker. There was a crater of the bombing, and they were spread
benzene.
Gasoline, yes, and then they were burned.
And what finally did he do? Did he put the pistol in his mouth?
I'm not sure if he did that. I think he shot in his head. I didn't saw him after he shot himself. And I forgot to ask, actually. It was not how he did it.
After Hitler's death, Frau Junge was among those in the bunker who escaped through what remained of Berlin. She lives modestly now in Munich on a small pension from her husband. 40 years down the road, when you press Adolf Hitler's secretary, Frau Gertrude Junge will say that now she feels shame.
Have you suffered as a result of knowing that you were part of this genocide?
I'm still suffering, actually. I'm still very much ashamed. And I can't forgive myself that I participated in the service of that man.
Adolf Hitler, a concerned employer, a gracious host, a devoted lover, a petter of dogs. Adolf Hitler, the madman of history.
But Cindy, I want more from that secretary. I want more of a sense of remorse, more of an act of contrition.
Yeah, me too. Maybe in the next life, Maury.
Right. Thank you very much. We also want to thank, by the way, Nancy Gershwin, our producer, who helped with this story. We'll be back after this.
Some people wallow in guilt. I hate it. That's why I love Wheat Thins. Whole wheat, no guilt. But now there's something new. Oat Thins. They have oat bran with whole oat grains. Look, you can even see them. And just like Wheat Thins, they're baked, not fried. That's important to me. Now, do I love these new Oat Thins as much as I love my Wheat Thins? Yeah. Am I feeling just a little guilty about that? Nah.
softness that won't wash away. That's important to Dr. Paula Couture, who washes her hands throughout the day. So she uses Eversoft lotion from Jergens. Eversoft is the remarkable lotion that won't wash off the next time she washes up. Yet Eversoft is not greasy. Now your hands can feel as soft as Dr. Paula Couture's. Eversoft lotion from Jergens. You won't wash away the softness.
The big play is at your local Ford dealer during Truck Month, with hot savings on America's #1 selling trucks with no payments until March 1990. Now get $1,000 cash back on the Ford Ranger. Then add option discounts for $2,500 in total savings. Score big with a great deal on Ford Ranger, America's #1 selling compact pickup. Plus no payments until March 1990 during Truck Month. Now at your local Ford dealer.
Hi, Ron Smith, Lucas and Howard Furniture. We're overstuffed with inventory, and we're going to move it out by giving you 6 months no interest and 6 months no payments. That's right, any purchase between now and December 1st, no interest, no payments. That's at Lucas and Howard Furniture.
I take my hunting and shooting seriously. And at 6th Street Steel, we take the customer seriously. When you're looking for steel, welding supplies, or steel products, 3 things are always available: good service, quality products, and low prices. It's just like out hunting. Sometimes you can kill 3 birds in 1 shot. Here come some ducks.
Always be an American creation and an American mystery. The Monroe FBI Files. That's on our next edition of A Current Affair. And that wraps up tonight's program. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time, America. Some people call us guerrilla television, gonzo television, tabloid television. Our stories are real. A current affair.
The battle over using timber funds to fight environmental lawsuits continues to heat up, and officials say prison overcrowding will continue to be a problem. We'll have the stories at 11 o'clock.
KOTI TV, Klamath Falls.
They're here. 70 brand new 1990 Hondas. And Cascade Honda is selling them all at factory direct prices. 1990 Honda Civics, factory direct, only $69.95. 1990 Civic Wagons, factory direct, $99.71. Newly designed Honda Accords, $11,998. Cascade Honda's factory direct sale. The savings go directly to you.
'Tis the season at All Season Sports. The season to ski, the season to bundle up, and the season to save a bundle. Like the basin's hottest and largest selection of skis and ski clothing at great prices. Stuff their stockings with leg gaiters, now only $15.89. Turtlenecks only $9.89. Warm and waterproof ski gloves from $29.89. The basin's hottest sunglasses from Varney, Oakley, Revo, Ray-Ban, and SunCloud. Shop Sunday 11 to 5 and see all the Christmas wishes at All Season Sports.
Even an established business sometimes needs help. That's why we're here, South Valley State Bank, ready to listen, to offer advice and assistance. Whether it's fine-tuning a business plan, managing cash flow, or financing expansion. After all, South Valley State Bank has a vested interest in the future of this community. It's our home, too. Happy holidays from South Valley State Bank, Klamath Country's own.
Come home to the best, only on NBC.